It is our developers meetup to celebrate the winners of the InterSystems Interoperability Programming Contest 2021. It's the second interoperability contest and the 18th programming contest on the developer community. And here we have our product managers, Bob Kuzevsky and Stefan Wittmann. And actually, I pass the floor to them to make an intro and share their feedback. Bob, Stefan,
Sure. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It seems like for most of you, it's good evening, but we will see. I would like to congratulate the winners. So Dmitry, Henrique, Yuri, in no particular order, because the order changes a bit depending if it's the experts nomination or the community nomination. But no matter what, you're the first three, so well done. But also, thank you very much for everybody else who submitted something, an application. Every submission, I believe, helps the community grow and is also always an inspiration for us, right? We're looking at all the submissions and try to get them running and figure out what your intention was, what kind of technology you used, what kinds of problems did you encounter or try to solve. And we always, at least when I take a look at these submissions, I always try to figure out what we can do in order to make it easier for you, right? So even when you're not on the podest here, still thank you very much for joining the competition and hopefully also having some fun and having had the opportunity to learn a thing or two. I'm really happy about the range of the submissions that we've seen here, right? So we've seen a couple of submissions that used packs and extended to other libraries, brought them into the platform and compounded the value. We had very native solutions like the message viewer. I really enjoyed that. Mostly, I don't know if you've attended the virtual summit this year, but there's a session that I had the opportunity to host about the Health Connect Neo Next topic, and I leaked some news in there that we're working on the second generation, no, not the second, the next generation of the user interfaces, starting off with the editors for the interoperability space. And so seeing a project like this is really just perfect for us, right? Taking a look at what you're playing with, what you're able to build in like 2 weeks in your spare time, right? Is very inspiring for us and is always something that we take into account when we are planning our new features. So it's also a very good source for us as a basis for discussion internally. So thanks for all of your submissions. They all have their value. And that's all I have to say for now, because this is actually a meeting about you, not me. So let's see what Bob has to share.
Thanks, Stefan. You on mute, Bob? You are still on mute. Maybe something doesn't work.
He's right. He's not on mute, but we still can't hear him.
Okay,
yeah.
that's
the mic is not showing on the right, so I don't know.
Yeah. Did you learn sign language, Bob? Can you do that?
I can interpret that Bob has feedback, and yeah, the feedback is positive. Yeah, but anyway, so I think we will fix it during the session. So, but yeah, so thank you, Stefan. Maybe Bob later will share his feedback with us too. I also see experts here, because starting it is the second contest where we invite a group of experts to share their votes. So and we have Rhiannon and Edward here. So do you guys want to share your feedback? about projects, anything you liked, disliked. So,
Yep, sure. So I'll basically extend a little bit on the comments that Stefan made. It was really great to see the breadth of submissions we had, going from, you know, all the new features with packs and seeing all you guys can do with that, and also seeing some very classic implementation, if you will, of interoperability and extending, you know, using all the components. So it was great to see that, you know, there was a mix of bringing the new and exciting features into the interoperability arena, and also making sure that, you know, what is already very much established is also there, so we're not losing anything. So I think overall it was great to see everything that was done. So yeah, congratulations to all of you guys.
thanks, Renan. Edward?
Hi, everyone. I really enjoyed this contest. In fact, most of I think all of the solutions to try them. I was also really impressed with Nesture. Hopefully, it would work with larger sessions. I also thought about custom visualization for message content instead of using our XML projection. I mean, you can still use XML projection, but the REST and maybe project into JSON for dynamic object. Well, it can be interesting because other formats other than XML are gaining in popularity, right, with dynamic objects and everything else. What else? I enjoyed Telegram bot. I didn't win, unfortunately. What else? What else?
Yes.
Red was also very interesting. Well, let's get to the contestants and their projects.
Yes, thanks, Edward. And yes, let's give the scene to winners. And today we have 3 projects, and I invite YURI to come first. So YURI, please, here's your scene. And actually, in order to make it, to make the videos, the recording on YouTube later more popular, we decided to transfer it. It's more like a pitch-like session. So you have 5 minutes only for your to demo this, and so we will be like a pitch demo day for you. So let's get it started. But Yuri, please go ahead with your project. Okay. Yuri, if you speak, we can't hear you.
Can you see my screen or no?
Yeah, yes, we can see your screen. Please start. Okay.
We have many tools in Hadoop ecosystems, many tools, but generally we have these technologies when I do big data projects. We have a ingestion tool like Apache NiFi or Scoop to do ETL, or one SB like InterSystems Interoperability to do the ingestion of messages, information in SQL or other formats. Or we have a ingestion of event messages in real time using Kafka or Flume. So InterSystems supports this, and we have some options to store this data. Hadoop file system to store big data as text files, ARC files, and another type of files, or can use ShardingDB to process SQL data or multimodal data in distributed DBMS, or HBase to do NoSQL based in Hadoop. IRIS supports this storage, but when we do process, analyze, and search in server, we have some components, main components that IRIS not support, like Apache Hive and Apache Pig and Apache Drill. My app addressed this Apache Hive support. Apache Hive allows you to do data warehouse, use Hadoop file system. You store text files, ARC files, and interact with this Hadoop using SQL. It's very good. So my app is a Apex components adapter to do SQL in Hadoop using Apache Hive server. So I have a business services in Objective-Script, call my Java business operation using a Java gateway and PEX technology to send SQL to Apache Hive server, and Apache Hive server process this SQL and return the data from text files, Parquet, or C files stored in Hadoop data nodes. But I return this SQL sentence as a JSON response. In the future, I will implement support to Apache Drill, because Apache Drill allows to IRIS send SQL requests to MongoDB, Elasticsearch, Amazon S3, and another important repositories with the same interface. My app, we have a Docker Compose that I have a Java Gateway service, the IRIS services with interoperability, a name nodes to the Hadoop nodes, the data nodes from Hadoop, and Hive server to process Hadoop as SQL. Okay. So I have a production. This production with Hive service and Hive operation, and this production I can send create table, can send one search, and select in this new table. This is in RC format. Hello, IRIS. So it's my app. Thanks.
Thanks, Yuri. This is really impressive. Colleagues, do we have any questions to Yuri?
Yuri, I just wanted to check. You said you built this with data warehouse scenarios in mind. Is that something that you're using or are you in need of for your work, or was this something that you just played with around because you found it interesting?
Can you repeat, please?
Do you you talked about that this is a tool for data warehouse scenarios, right? I was wondering if this is something that you actually need at work, or if this was something that you played around with.
The second option. And when I include Apache drill, we will select in all main tools in the big data ecosystems like MongoDB, Elasticsearch, Apache Hive, and HBase. So I want to be a hub in IRIS to send process SQL from the main big data repositories.
Okay, awesome. So we will see more contributions to this package then.
Yes. Thanks, Yuri. So it really expands the interoperability or integration options for IRIS, I believe. Cool. Any more questions?
It's not really a question, but just what do you think was most interesting in using PAX in terms of facilitating, the work to be done and simplifying, the structure? Just what is your feeling while using that?
It's very impressive technology. It's easy because PAX has a good image to configure a Java gateway, and is really speed, has a good speed in the requests and responses. It's a brilliant feature in IRIS.
All right, thank you.
Oliver, I just have maybe a follow-up question, or because I'm actually supporting an interface where we receive a file that then gets inserted into a corporate data warehouse, but we do everything within Health Connect, transform the query, and then have an SQL outbound adapter to insert data. It seems to be quite slow what we have currently. So would it possibly be faster if we look at using PAX?
PAX has a good performance, and when you use Apache Hive and other Hadoop technologies, we can transform file data in a model, in a SQL data. Is very good because currently actually the projects has these requirements that is stored in original format, JSON, XML, and another formats, and do SQL, because SQL is the technology chosen by Power BI and another visualization tools.
Can I use it to any database? Like we use a SQL Server database to send the data to.
I use it Hadoop as a database.
For the PAX adapter, it doesn't matter what the database is. Is it just like a JDBC driver configuration, or?
The PAX uses JDBC for Apache Hive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we'll take this offline, but thank you.
Just to add a bit of context to this, just because I don't know if Bob is able to speak or not, but PAX itself, just to say this in a nutshell in a minute, PAX is leveraging the external gateways underneath. So the performance to talk between Iris to Java, Python, or .NET by itself is now pretty nice. You get easily into the range of hundreds of thousands of communications between those ecosystems per second. So that's pretty nice. And in terms of your specific question, that depends a lot of what you're doing right now, right? Whether you actually need the power of the interoperability layer to transform the file, or if you could just take this externally and run it directly in Java or Python to do your connection and then pull the data. So that's something you would need to take a closer look at.
Thanks, Stefan, Yuri, Oliver, and I just want to remind that because of the formula of the contest, all the contributions are open source, so you are very welcome to follow up on the code and with the authors. So great, Yuri, thanks, amazing project. And I invite another contestant, Dmitry Maslennikov, to introduce his application like Node-RED with InterSystems IRIS. Please, Dmitry, go ahead.
Hello. Share the screen. Yep. So I already recently I found this Node.js project and wanted to see how it could be used with Iris, and just for this contest decided to go deeper. And like it's, in fact, Node.js itself is just almost as the same feature as interoperability. It can do almost the same, but it working on Node.js and can do a lot of interesting stuff. And out of the box, it has lots of features like network connections. It can work with MQTT, HTTP, just TCP, WebSockets, and so on. Can do anything with data, with just parse data to some structures, mostly like JavaScript based, like kind of JSON objects, JavaScript objects. And so I've implemented a new way. It's an InterSystems IRIS node there. It's just can connect to IRIS, the host, port, user namespace, username, and so on. Boom. And that's it. How Node.js works? It's just has input and output. In input, it have like message with few properties. In this case, it accepts topic property as SQL, any query, and in output just result of this query. And what we can do with this, this is flow, which just drag and drop, and they can drag it to anything there, connected with such links. And I created like here topic and SQL query. I created some with some simple production in Iris running close to this Node.js server, which can be monitored with Node.js. Another package which I installed for this task is your dashboard. Go to palette. It's just installed packages, Node.js itself, my InterSystems node, and dashboard just for UI. And it do some queries and with set it with some period, like here with interval every 10 seconds, calls to Iris and shows it in HTML on UI and how it looks like. There it is. It's just a dashboard with information from interoperability production. This is a block for messages from interoperability, errors from it, and this is what actually done in this production. Just it asks for some Reddit posts and creates some objects, and with SQL, simple SQL query, it can show it. And also, just for example, have this flow very simple, just few simple SQL queries, even like this one, it's just this template, it templated SQL query. Here, some randomizer of values which can be used next in template node, and it goes to IRIS, and we can look at it, and it shows some result from IRIS node. We go to debug, it will show this. It's a response from IRIS node. We can insert more and go to this UI table. And so we have two rows here. Delete, one left, and update, count. It shows how many rows. Let's insert more and count again. And this select is just for this UI. And it runs every 1 second. Another just very simple flow, just to see how many messages we have, and it goes here. And just for fun, I made this quite difficult flow. It's just how to create, generate a table, SQL table in IRIS. This even just this UI made from this flow. This flow creates this UI, and I can check new table name. It's okay. I can create it, and it creates this already predefined one column ID, and for everything, it just create the new SQL query like this one. Create new table, create table with this property, with this column, and I create new column, and nullable after increment, primary key, we don't maybe nullable, and create. And it created this table, this column there. So, and I think it's just very cool. And like as I mentioned it, Node.js itself works in Node.js, and my plugin is working also developed in Node.js. So it's just most of the code of this plugin. So just connects to IRIS, like here, IRIS, and execute this code, shows this state, its own, and everything goes from to this code. At the moment, it supports only SQL queries without parameters, just like I demonstrated here with template, with ability template ability here in Node.js. like mustache. But it's possible then to add ability to just call class method or like a routine and so on, or even work with directly with globals. So here it is.
Okay, thank you, Dmitry. You almost made it like in 5 minutes. So, okay, thank you very much. So it's great you opened the world of InterSystems IRIS to Node-RED developers. This is amazing. So any comments, questions?
I don't have a question, but a general comment. I think during this contest, I've seen at least 4 references in different projects to crypto. So Evgenia, I believe there's some appetite in the community to open up a crypto with Iris contest.
We'll take it into account. So, thank you. Okay, any more questions from colleagues? Anyone who is online, we are very welcome to ask questions. Yeah, according to how many votes you get, so I assume that people like UI. So the better UI you build with Iris, you win. Right? So it's always like that, almost always. Okay, great. So thank you, Dmitry. And I think now we'll go to our third winner. It's a team. It's a well-known team from Brazil. Henrique Diaz and José Pereira. So guys, please, it's your floor.
Thank you, Evgeny.
Yes, and even you are 2, it's 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, no problem at all.
Okay, yes, maybe a bit more. Okay, but
thanks everyone for your time. This is our project, IRIS Message Viewer. Even though we create this project last year, this is we call Visual Trace Edition, right? And I didn't create it by myself. José and I team up again. We have a few years of experience working with InterSystems technology. I believe more years than I want to be honest, to reveal to you. José a little less, but we have a bunch of experience working with InterSystems stack. And why we create this project? That's a really good question that we made by ourselves. And last time we created a new visual trace to a new interface to see and interact with the messages, but we're still using the really standard one, visual trace. So this time we want to improve the project and show the community that we can keep our projects and improving, adding new features. So for us, makes total sense to create a new perspective and show how we can see the same thing in a different view. So that's why we create our own visual trace. Here is our visual trace. Our intention wasn't create the same interface, right? For us, we want to use the same information that the standard visual trace offers, but in a different, not only interface, but offering a different perspective, how you can use it and how you can take advantage of the features. So how we did it, we create this visual trace using the Marmate.js. It's a JS framework to create diagrams and visualizations using text and code. In this case, the Marmate.js can use a kind of markdown style to create that diagram. And I pass the floor to José so he can show us a demo of our project.
Sure, thank you, Henrique.
Let's stop sharing my screen just a second.
Just checking, can see my screen?
Okay, yes.
All right. So as Henrique said, we try to a new approach on visual trace. And as Evgeny said, people like a new interface, and so do I. So this is my humble contribution to the amazing project of Henrique. So here you can change the namespace and specify the ID of your message. You can obviously navigate through the messages. You can see the information about each of those messages, the body and the content. We use the building XML format presentation, but as Edward said, we didn't think of this, but actually it's cool to use the JSON adapter features of Iris to give the user a possible new way to see the message using XML or JSON. This is a good idea. We can consider that, no doubt. And in the you can see you can hide, of course, the information to see a more viewport of the diagram. You can resend the message as the original visual trace possible view. But here we use the Mermaid library, which is really nice and easy to use library for diagram rendering. This is just a simple markdown style. We can check this in the network, for example. I just get from the server a bunch of messages and render to something like that. Just check. Oh no, I can't see that. Sorry, but you go to community. I think. Okay. This is what you need to present to Mermaid library. You just need to specify what is the participant and what messages each interact with each other. So it's really very simple to define this kind of diagrams. And also you can use features like zoom in, zoom out, pan, and we really like the feedbacks we had about our projects. Like Edward, for example, said he tested it in a huge trace. So we implement a new feature which also has in the original one, but here it's a little bit different, where you can paginate the message. So, for example, I will get a little bit trace in the ensemble demo. So here we have a more complex message with
with more interactions.
Yes. So if you, of course, you can zoom in or and pan to see, but if you want to focus on only a part of this trace, you can define how many messages you want to see and navigate it for those messages. If you for signalize you that you are in the middle of in the beginning, the middle, of the end of the diagram, we put this symbol here indicating a break of the flux, the workflow. So if you continue until reach the end, so you can see only parts of your trace. And I think that is, thank you.
Thanks, José, Enrique. Amazing project, and also what I like that you guys enhanced the application you already have built, and actually we sort of encourage this to be sure that the applications you build for a contest, it's not something you contribute once and forget. So it's really great. So any questions to Enrique and José?
Yeah, I know that for a fact, some of those projections you have on the viewer, you not necessarily have APIs that you can consume straight off out of IRIS. So how was the journey into getting, you know, all the information? Because I bet there was a lot of queries, you know, all over the place. So I mean, how easy was it, and you know, how much you miss having, you know, sort of an API that could people could just plug in different interfaces of any sort.
Of course, we have endpoint that provide all the information that we need. Should be maybe easier, not only for our project, but also for others. But we have all the information that we can present in those diagrams using the internal Ensemble interoperability class tables. So that's really good. But if it was possible to make a little more open and flexible, should be great.
Yeah, also I will share some of my feedback. So we already got a lot of people tried your applications versus different interoperability productions. And in fact, there are some that are really huge and enhanced. But I see that it's possible maybe to adjust the number of what you can see. And but in fact, it would be great if it could be used for some real productions. And yeah, it's just my like humble request to see some enhancements to the projects. Really amazing thing. Again, thank you guys. Any more questions?
I think on that topic there is an opportunity for you know, everyone that is participating on the contest in the contest to start doing joint adventures in this. So because we did see some complex type of productions, so maybe, you know, applying some of those features and stuff that everyone did, that Yuri presented, and you know, everything that the guys did, if you start mixing up all that, I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of cool stuff coming up that we didn't thought initially. So yeah, that would be cool. And I can imagine like some of the things that Dmitry did as well, you know, having all that kind of abstraction of complex layers where you can have a more visual tool, and that would generate some noise on the productions, and then you apply all those, you know, those different UIs. It would be interesting to see all this coming together. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and I also admire your imagination, guys. So thanks for contributing something that expands our minds.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for that. Yeah. And also from my side, I would say that I impressed that with every round of our contest, you guys follow all these technical bonuses we introduce. And this contest was special because we had a lot of cases where you completed this quality object script quality check. so it works. People use it on and all this thing. Another thing is that you started using this automatic demo deployment with Docker. So José and Henrique were pioneers in this, but so now we saw even more. For this thing, so if you have any feedback how we could improve and what else we need to like include, like what other rules we need to include in ObjectScript and other languages, check. So please don't hesitate to share your feedback. And yes, and also what we will add regarding the bonuses, that even we appreciate so much that you continue developing your current projects, so you apply the same and contribute some changes. So we speaking about bonuses, I think we will count them only for the first time, and we'll count next if the bonuses matches and new contributions. Like you added a feature, and if this feature meets some bonuses, that will be bonuses for. So I think this will be more fair. But so, and if you have any like ideas, contributions, don't hesitate. So because our intention is to introduce you guys a fair field of implementing your ideas and imagination with InterSystems IRIS, of course. Okay, and just to so if you have any questions, please go ahead, and just to say that what will be next. We have two competitive ideas. So what we will start in 2 weeks, and just to share with you, it will be either a data sets contests or it will be security contests. And speaking of security one, so we will invite you to contribute any like tools or applications that use InterSystems security model in any way, like resources, roles, users, and different types of access for different components, like interoperability components or IRIS BI components or databases. So role level security also for SQL and database level, things like that. So usage of this, then tools to simplify deployment, and everything that will let you build more secure applications with InterSystems IRIS and to deploy it in a more robust way. Yeah, so this I think will be exciting.
Evgeny, I have one more question about the online demo. I tried to make that work with the project that I had for the interoperability, but I suspect because I had 2 different containers, 2 different iris images built in the project, that it didn't work. Is there anybody on here or who knows how to make that expanded so it can work for more than 1 container? Or
it's not, we can go offline for this discussion because what we actually did, we pre-built an Kubernetes cluster that accepts these GitHub action scripts. So it all works because we already have a Kubernetes cluster that expects 1 image like Docker containers. So, but it's great. So it's great to know that you guys need more. So maybe we'll think about that, and so how we can let you deploy like multi-image demos automatically. But also, I encourage you to take the configuration of this cluster, so we can share it, no problem. So in regard that you can implement it in your development environment. So if you need these types of auto deployment in your development environment, we are happy to share, and there you can have like two images or 3 or whatever to be deployed. Okay. But thanks, Oliver. Thank you for raising this, because we excited to give to use this feature of Docker container and Google Cloud Run. Yeah. And Robert has a new hat. Hey, Robert. Yeah.
Well, I think it was, I didn't have very much expectations on this. And I thought it is good also for me, you wouldn't believe it, I'm almost the beginner of that, since my last production that I have built is something like 15 years back. So I had a very vague imagination what it could be. And it was a big experience. And the other experience was this online demo that showed what you have under source or what have in the typical environment works. But if you create directories outside or wrap outside files, then you're lost. So I had to redesign it a little bit. So, but it had a lot of fun and experience a lot of all things that I should have known. Okay, now I know them again. But it was the great stuff, the whole thing. It was a great experience.
Yeah, Robert, thank you for sharing your experience and congratulations with the first interoperability deployed and built. Yeah, this is. I'm proud that we, because the contests encourage people to build the interoperability with IRIS. Great. So actually, if we don't have any more questions, I would congratulate again our participants and winners. Thanks for your hard work, for your contribution to the community, and congrats. And actually have a great weekend. That will be Halloween. So, yeah, exciting time.
Patience.
And thanks experts. Thank you so much also for your hard work.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.